All right, so today we are talking about Ableton Live automation. And there's a couple of places you can do automation. I've got my live session right here. There's a couple places you can do automation. One place is in the clips view. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to pull in and let's just pull in a beat loop real quick, like a simple beat loop. We're just going to go over here to Sample Magic and grab some Dusty House, and we'll grab a drum loop. Let's just do 120, and we'll do right. So here we go. Just drag that in right there. Whoa, you are really slow. There we go. Cool. So we have this little drum loop right here going on, and let's say that we wanted to automate it so the last couple of notes here just kind of aren't quite as loud as everything else. Just a simple volume level automation. So there's a couple ways to do that. In this view, there's only one way to do it. There's two ways to do it in the arrangement view, but when we're in the session view like we are right now, there's only one real way to do that, and that has to do with clip envelopes. Clip envelopes are where you can set up your automation that will loop with the clip. So you notice how everything loops with the clip. If I hit play, right, I can just let that play, and it will just play forever and ever and ever and ever. It will never stop playing, and that's just because it's a loop. Well, this is just the audio loop, but we can have other stuff happening in here as well that will loop, and that's including the automation. So the way we get to our automation is we go down here in the lower left-hand corner of the screen, and we click on this little button right here. This is our little automation button, and it pulls up our envelopes. And envelopes is what Ableton Live calls clip automation. It's just automation, but it's inside your clip, and they call it envelopes. So by default, the one that pops up here is for our clip volume. And we've got a couple things here. If you look here in this window, let me just zoom in properly on this so you can see what's going on. Okay. So if we go in here to our envelope, and we click on this, first of all, we got a couple different things we can select. We've got our clip, we've got our mixer, and we've also got our utility, which is any kind of plugin that you've got in here. We're going to come back and talk about that in just a second. But first of all, let's just focus on the clip. And the clip, when you click on clip here, it pulls down a few different things that you can automate. So we've got our transposition, grain size, flux, which isn't anything, that's if we have over here, and our texture mode over here. So we can automate our grain size, our flux within the automation, within the clip. And then sample offset if we want to do something like that. But the main one that we're going to be messing with the clip is probably volume or transposition. So that has to do with this over here, volume and transposition, these two things right here. And you can see that when I click on them, my screen here on the right changes. The screen inside the clip changes if I click on transposition, or if I click on volume, it changes here. Now, one thing I want to draw your attention to with the volume is that the volume clip envelope is actually a percentage, and it's a percentage based on this volume level right here. So if I take this and if I hit play, if I turn it down, you can hear it gets softer. If I bring it back up, let's put it at 0, or if I want to make it even louder, right? So I can just put it right here at the original volume level. And if I want to adjust this, let's say I wanted to make these last parts over here softer. So these like little snare hits. If I want to make these snare hits softer, what I can do is I can just highlight this part right here and just mouse up and click and drag down. And when I do that, you'll notice that when I click on it, first of all, when I mouse over it, it becomes highlighted. And if I drag it up and down, straight up and down, it changes the percentage. And what that's doing, that percentage, is showing me, right now it says like 50.9%. That is 50% of this level over here, this volume level right here. So when it hits that note, what you'll do is you'll see, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to make the whole ending part less loud. So watch what happens if I do this. I'm going to just drag it over. I'm dragging lines around, so I'm making a fade over here. And watch what happens with this. You're going to see a little blue dot start to extend down to follow that envelope. See that little blue dot? And if you look at that blue dot while I'm playing, you can see it follows the envelope here. And I can drag this envelope around while it's playing. And I can adjust these levels here. So here's it back to its original level, or I can make it softer. And I could go through and do that for all these. And see how I'm adjusting these? I'm just clicking on it with the pencil tool. And drawing these levels in. So, and I can also draw them in smoothly if I wanted to by turning the grid off. And you can turn the grid off temporarily by holding down the command key, or on Windows machines it's probably the control key. All right, so that's basic clip automation, and those are called clip envelopes. So let's say, let me get rid of this stuff here. I'm just going to turn this off, Command A, hit delete, and get rid of all my envelopes. And I'm going to put this clip into my arrangement view. And let's look at how the arrangement view handles this stuff. So I've got a little 8-bar loop there. And I'm going to make this bigger so y'all can see it. I'm going to zoom in a bit. There we go. Okay. So now I've got this set up here. And you can see I've got my loop in here, and this is basically how it would look in Pro Tools or Ableton, Pro Tools or Logic or whatever. How do you open the envelope? Well, oh hey Johan, how you doing? Did you did put your name in? Sorry. And I was going to say also, Johan, I didn't notice that you had put your name in. I didn't notice you were here yet. But what I wanted to say to you was, remember yesterday we talked about the pencil tool and stuff. Well, this is the same thing in here. We can use the pencil tool. If we look down here on the bottom, we can use the pencil tool to draw in these different envelopes. And so you can see I'm using my pencil tool to kind of draw in these different envelope levels. Now, to get to the envelopes, just to answer your question, is down here in the lower left-hand corner, there's this little button here that's got like dots with a line connecting them. This is your automation button, I guess. And it opens up the clip envelopes. Najima says the wave file in Ableton turned into dots. How do we get it to turn back into a wave? It's dots. It turned into dots because you zoomed in really far. Watch my screen here, Najima. If I zoom in really far, if I'm clicking up here with my mouse and I'm clicking and I'm dragging, if I drag far enough, it's going to turn into dots, right? But if I want to see that totally, I can just zoom out using my minus key, or I can click and drag again. But that's why it turned into dots, is because you zoomed in too far somehow. There we go. So, and you can push your plus and minus keys to zoom, or you can click and drag with the magnifying glass. So going back to this here, this is the arrangement view. So there's two different ways we can do automation in here. One of them is if you want to automate the loop, and one of them is if you want to automate over time. And so if I want to automate over time, so you saw me doing volume automation stuff with my clip, and I've got my clip selected here, and what I can do is go in here and say, all right, I want this clip to have these little snare drums here to be softer. So I'm going to just turn these down real quick like this. So let's listen to that. All right, I'm going to make one loud and one soft. Right. Now, one thing you'll notice is that is looping with my clip here in my arrangement view. So my arrangement view, this automation that I did, changes up here. And it's in every single one. We can't see it, but it's there. It's doing it. It doesn't, but you don't see it in here, but it is doing it. Now, if I wanted this drum loop to fade up over time, just in general, I can use regular track automation for this. And this is the same basically as Pro Tools and Logic. Everything you've learned about Pro Tools, it applies here. The only difference is the way we get to it is a little bit different. And the way we get to it here is you hit the A key. Make sure your keyboard is off. This keyboard up here in the upper right hand corner, make sure that is turned off. Hit the A key, and now it turns into automation, and click on whatever you want to automate. So in this case I want to automate my track level. So I just go in here, and I've got my pencil tool turned on still, so I could do like this. Or if I just want to make a smooth line, I can turn my pencil tool off, and you click and you click and you drag wherever you want to put a point. So here, let me just show you that in slow motion real quick. So see how it's like there's no automation, so it's a dotted line. When I mouse over it, you can see it turns the line solid, and it gives me a little dot where my cursor is. So I just click, and if I want to put another automation point, I click, and I can just drag. I can hold down my button and click and drag, and it will automatically just start automating. And now I've got a straight line here. We can listen to it. Wait, hey, go back to the, come on. And you hear how it's fading up over time. Right? So that's happening. But what I want to also point out is that I can also curve this line here by holding down Option. Curve and drag it. And that's something that a lot of people don't actually know in Ableton Live. If you hold down Option over a automation point or a clip envelope or whatever, you can curve it. So that's what's going on with that stuff there. That's your basic automation. Now, let's say I have a filter on here, and I wanted to automate my filter. And this is something we talked about in Pro Tools before. So I got my filter here, and in Pro Tools, you remember, it's kind of a pain to do it. In Ableton Live, thankfully, it's much easier to automate stuff. All you do is, if you have your automation lanes open, here, you just literally click on whatever you want to automate. So if I want to automate my filter frequency, I just click on it, and now I'm automating my filter frequency. If I wanted to automate my filter resonance, I just click on the parameter, and now it's automating that parameter. There is a list over here on the track name where I can automate different plugins. So I've got a couple plugins here, and if I click on it, you can see all the different things I can automate. That's a way you can do it. That's actually more like Logic. Logic does it like that. It's not my favorite way to do it, so I don't really use that way to do it in Ableton Live. I just click on whatever it is that I want to automate. So I want to automate my filter, and I can click on my filter. And again, I can actually do this inside either the clip or the automation lane. And this is a really big difference between Live and other DAWs, is that Live, these clips really are very powerful. So if let's get a different loop here. I'm gonna not use it on this one here. Let me just get rid of that auto filter here, and let's drag in a just clicking. I don't know what there's a lag there, Johan. I don't know what you're referring to. All right, so I'm gonna make another loop here real quick. I'm gonna put another loop in here. It's another drum loop here. And we're gonna go down and grab, let's get I wanna do this one-man percussion thing again. This guy, One Man Tribe. I thought his stuff was pretty cool. So we got these drums in here. We're gonna grab some drums. All right, we're gonna use this groove right here. Boom. Hi Mems, how you doing? Johan, if you remember what you're talking about, write it down and we can come back and talk about it, because I might be going a little bit quick right now. I do want to answer your question, but I'm not sure what you're referring to when you just said no, just clicking. I'm not using a keyboard for anything right now. And if you're talking about a computer keyboard, yeah, I'm not using any keyboard, just clicking the parameter. Yeah, just click it. Yeah, you don't have to touch anything else, just click it. Yep, absolutely, yeah, just click it. No secrets, no holding anything down, no touching nothing else, just literally click the parameter. It's really cool. Yeah, I mean, that might seem so easy. You might be like, wait, that's so easy. The answer is, yeah, it's that easy. So let's check this out. So let's listen to this. Here, wait, let's turn this down though. Let me back over here. There we go. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a filter to this track. So I'm going to go over here to my filters. I'm going to add an auto filter in here. We don't need that one right now. And what I'm going to do first, I'm going to show you how to add in the filter into the loop itself, into the clip. So what I do is I have the filter on my track. You can see I've got a filter here on my track. And I go over here to my envelopes. And up here where it says mixer, I'm going to click on auto filter, and that's selecting which effect I want to have. Actually, let me throw a different effect in here real quick so you can see that easily. Let's use the Redux. That's one I haven't shown you all yet. This is a bit reducer. So Redux can make it, there we go, let's do that. All right, we can do that. We can also downsample it. Right, I can do that kind of stuff. Right, I'll automate that on-off button right there. So what I can do is I go in here to my clip, and if I want this to loop with the clip, so you can see I've got this clip here. Let's make it 16 bars. You know what I'll do instead of, here, wait, hold on, we'll do it like this. Like this, and, okay, I'll say that to show you all something else really cool here in just a second. So what I'm going to do here is I've got this 8-bar loop, and down here in my envelope, you can see my envelope is a 4-bar loop. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make some filter stuff and some Redux stuff that goes with these 4-bar loop here. So here I've got my sample hard on-off, I think. Does this have is the on-off automatable? Let's see. Go back over here and Command M. That is automatable. But it doesn't look like it's got an it's not automatable inside here. So let's see. What can I do to make this more? Okay, so it looks like this parameter actually doesn't work in there. So we're going to do this a slightly different way. I'm going to turn this on and set that to 4. And then we're going to go over here and see how this is like, it's still 100%, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to have everything be down here, except every now and then it's going to come back up and be on. I'm just drawing it in with my pencil tool. So well, that's really, that's annoying. Hold on, sorry. Turn this down for a second. I see what it's doing. It's like being reversed from what I expect it to be. I don't actually ever automate this Redux thing. So you know what? Why don't I try not be doing something new right now? We'll just do the filter. I thought that would be fun, but it's just scary. Okay. All right. So here's my filter, and click on that. Go over here to my clip envelope, and you can see because I clicked on it, it's now here in my auto filter. I've got my frequency, and I can put my frequency at different levels and stuff like that. So go over here, and I can say. And you can see the line up in my screen up here is moving around. And if I want to just put like a gradual filter over time on here, I can just do it up here and it will make a filter on go in time. And you can see it's adjusting my filter. Right, so that's pretty cool. And that's like normal Pro Tools Logic things like that, whatever. But let's say that we wanted to do this a little bit differently. So this frequency here is I've got 100%, I can go up, I can go down from here. So right now my level is set at 100%, and I can adjust this and make adjustments to it. So if I wanted to set it like right here, I can go up and I can put some boop, boop, boop. Let's do this. Let's put some stuff in it like this. And you hear how cool that sounds, and it sounds very rhythmic. It's like a little envelope. I mean, it's literally, that's what they call it, envelopes, right? Automation of autopan speeds or delay feedback to create time difference would be insane on this. I don't see why you couldn't do that. Mark, good morning also. There's no reason why you couldn't do that. And this is like, there's a lot of really cool things you can do with automation. A lot of people, when you're listening to modern music, and I'll play you some tracks, but a lot of people do mess with their automation, and then they set up automation, but they also do a lot of recording from one track to another. So there's automation stuff that happens, and it really is a preference for how you like to work, because some really cool, like I was showing y'all yesterday, some cool effects and stuff like what you're talking about here with the like a delay feedback thing. You can do some really neat stuff. So actually here, let's just show you that real quick. So I'm going to go in here, I'm going to use my delay plugin here, and I usually wouldn't stick it right on the track, but because we're just talking about clip automation here with the track, I'm just going to put it right here. And let's go ahead and do let's turn the sync off. Okay, so we have that there. Now what we can do is we can take this one and let's do some automation in here. Let's do it with the clip. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this automation here. I'm going to click on my time. So it changes over here to time, and the time left and right should follow each other. And again, I haven't actually ever messed with this before in here. I don't really do stuff like this too much, but let's just try it. Let's see what happens. We're set at 100%. 100% is our current delay time, which is a nice little, it's a nice little delay that sounds good with everything. And what we're going to do here is let's go and let's make this one here. Let's do that. Let's try that. Yeah. Yeah, it sounds cool. Now, I'm not sure if that's exactly what you were talking about, Mark, but this is like some of the magic that you can do with these clip envelopes, and this is a really important thing to consider, like how to use these. And we can also, you mentioned feedback. Let's just try the feedback and see what happens with that. Yeah, you can see this is moving over here. Let's do the feedback thing. Actually, let's do the dry wet. Let's mess with that a little bit. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a line in here. Huh, that's kind of interesting. Let's turn off this. Let's go back over to my filter and let's bring this up here a little bit more. Huh. Interesting. And you can see there's a little blue dot that appears for my parameters that are automated, or I can go down here in the bottom of my thing and just show only the automated parameters. If you don't want to see this whole list, you can just show your automated parameters right here, just the ones that are automated. It's not going to show you every single thing. I usually don't leave that on just because I like to get in here and mess with my clip and do some stuff to the clip. And one things you can do is this transposition thing, which here, let me just put that like that. And here I'm going to put this up an octave. There we go. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you I can duplicate this across. And to duplicate stuff, you just hit Command D and it will duplicate it. So now, yeah, really weird. Right. So I'm not sure how much I would use this particular like loop. Oh, it's still doing some stuff. Cool. But you can hear how it could be really cool. You can use it for some really neat stuff. Let me see. If I did a little counting thing, let's try this. Let's just show you this real quick. I'm going to go in here and let's actually not do it in this view here. Let's do it over here in this view here in the session view. I'm going to make a new track here. I'm going to call this one counting. Do some counting stuff because this will sound, you can do some really neat stuff with this with vocals. And what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to grab my audio input, external. Let's do number 2 here. Check 1, 2, check, check, check. Okay, so I'm just going to set this up and do a little counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2. Cool, so I got this here. 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Awesome, and you can hear I'm a little bit late behind things, so what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to go ahead and grab the start position and move it over. Wait, where do I want to put it? I guess I'd want to put it right there. Let's zoom in a little bit. And you might say, well, wait, hold on a second, Tony, how come you're not just adjusting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You might say, Tony, how come you're not adjusting each of these individual hits? And I could just adjust each of these individual hits, but the reason why I'm not is because if I'm just consistently late, it's oftentimes just easier just to grab the start position and just move the start position. And this is a trick you can use in Ableton Live that you absolutely cannot do in Logic or Pro Tools. They just don't work the same way. So please remember that this start position, this loop stuff, it really changes the way that Live works. And if you're not using it, you're really kind of selling yourself short with Live. So I've got this here, and what I'm going to do here is, first of all, I'm just going to put a EQ on here. An EQ, let's put the EQ here. Boop, boop, boop. And why are these off? That's weird. Anyway, so I got this, and I'm going to, let's cut some low frequencies out just to make it sound nice. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, okay, 5, got 6, that there. 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, boost some highs here. 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, actually, we'll wait for that. Let's not do that right now. 8, 1, 2, 3, put a little, let's see. Do I have my... Oh, that's not 20 volt. Wait, is that... Which one was that? Let's see if that's the one I made the other day. Oh yeah, that looks like the one I made the other day. Cool, so we don't need to do all this stuff. It's already done for us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1. Cool. All right, so a couple things. One, I'm going to use my automation to take out this weird stuff in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's like some weird, I don't know, I'm breathing weird or whatever, but you hear like this air in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right? I don't want that air right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here to my envelope, and I'm going to go to my clip envelope. I'm going to go to volume, which is already selected. And I'm going to go in here, I'm going to turn my grid off, and I'm just going to put in some points and drag it down, and there we go. So now
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3.
And I'm going to
4,
tailor
5,
this.
6, 7.
There we go.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2,
Cool.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
And you notice how I got rid of the weird noise that was in there. Let's just let's move this. This is, we can't really hear. All I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna Command A and delete it, and I'll Command Z in a second.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Here, let's
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
hear that. Let's get rid of it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
We just got rid of that. How cool is that, right? So that's using our envelope right here. Now, if I put this counting into this view over here and I loop it, that automation is going to follow the clip. Every time the clip goes, that automation is going to play.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4.
All right, and there we go. It sounds nice. Okay. So we got that there. Now let's put some weird effects on here and automate them a little bit as well, just to kind of keep going over how this automation stuff works. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a third-party plugin. And what should I use? Let's see. What do I got up in here? You can see my plugins list over here is pretty ridiculous, actually. But I don't know. It's like, it gets to the point where it's like too much stuff, so you gotta make sure you're using the right stuff all the time. I think what I'll use is probably a Sound Toys one, like a delay or something, but let me just see what we got over here. Okay, I know which one I'm going to use. I'm going to just keep going down. Let's see what we got. A lot of these are synths. So Replica's a good delay, but I think I'm going to use one of my favorites. Is this one here from Sound Toys. It's Primal Tap. One of my favorites. So I'm just going to drag that onto the track, and it pops up here. Now, it's a third-party effect, and to get to the parameters in third-party effects, I can still just click on them here. So, like for example, if I hit A, so it shows me my my automation, and we can see over here, this is what I'm currently looking at here, and let's see if this is going to work right. The feedback, yeah. So my feedback here, feedback A, feedback B, input, low cut. See, when I click on stuff, it selects it in this area here. So I'm just clicking on this on the parameters, and I can go down here to tweak. Let's yeah, and you can see I can tweak different things. I can select my different algorithms, stuff like that. So all you have to do is click on it, which is great. I mean, that right there is just an amazing thing. And the fact that I can get to everything super quickly is really nice as well. So let's do this. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have this, I'm not going to do it inside the clip right now. I'm going to do it outside, and then we'll do it in the clip again. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to have this, let's set up a little effect here. Let's see what we got.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2.
All right, we got that.
5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
Okay.
8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4.
All right, so we have this here.
8. 1, 2.
So now I can adjust this.
5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4.
All right, and you hear how nice and smooth that sounds? Well, let's have that change over time here. So it's going to go like this. I'm just going to click. Here, let's make this a little bit. I need to make it bigger. I'm just going to pull it down so it's right next to here. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to click on the parameter I want to change, which is this adjust knob right here. And the adjust knob changes the timing. It changes the speed of these delays. And I'm going to go in here, I'm going to click it here, and I'm going to put a little point there. I'm going to put a little point here at the end so it'll come back to being normal. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to grab this and put that like that, and just put a little point right there like this, and we'll put a little line in here like this, and like this. There we go. All the stuff I just talked to you about, I just did it real quick, and now.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2,
Okay.
3.
Now we can also adjust the feedback.
8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
There's our input, sorry.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2.
Right, hear how cool that sounds, right? So what if I wanted to make adjustments to this as it's playing? Well, what I can do is I'm going to turn off my record on the track so it's no longer recording, because that would record over stuff. And I'm going to hit this button right here. This button right here allows me to do my recording, like to actually play stuff in, play my automation in. And then the only thing is I have to turn on my arrangement record button here to record automation. That's the deal. I do not have to have the track record enabled, which is a preference in Live here. If we go into our preferences real quick, let me just show you. It is over here in where is it? Look and feel. I always forget where this one lives. Library plugins, isn't it plugins? Automation, no. Chords, probably here. Yeah, okay, so record session this one here. Record session automation in armed tracks or all tracks. And you can change that. If you only wanted to record your automation into the armed tracks, then you can have it do that. I'm going to have it set to all tracks. So I have to hit this little record automation button and have this one turn on. I'm pretty sure that's how that works. So now, if I go over here and let's just hit play first and see what happens.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Okay, hold on, wait 1 second.
1, 2, 3, 4,
Yeah.
5, 6, 7.
So if I want to record my automation, I just hit record. It's not going to record anything. It's not going to record any MIDI or audio or anything like that because I don't have anything record armed.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
All right, so now this. So let's see what happens here. I'm just going to bring this back down, something like that. Let's go click on this one here and pull it back down as well to the end. Well, let's put it back to basically where it came from, like that. Cool. All right, so let's listen. Let's check this out.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Super, super cool. And that's, and all I'm doing is just I'm picking different parameters to mess with here and just knowing my plugins. And Primal Tap is one of my favorites because of this, because you can do this kind of weird stuff with it. And this is just automating stuff over time. Now, if I wanted to have it happen inside of my clip, we can do that as well. Let me just go here, grab the two, and then grab you as well. And where's the other one? Did I get rid of everything? Oh. Cool. All right. I feel like maybe not. All right, cool. So now there's no more automation up there. Oh, I know what happened. I just deleted up my clips. That's why. Har, 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 har. I was like, wait, what's going on? That's why I hit that wrong button. I hit Command A, and that's not what you're supposed to do. All right, so there we go. All right, cool. Sorry, too much Pro Tools. So I have that now. I've got this here. And let's put this automation that I just did, let's put that into the clip itself. So I'm going to go back down to my clip, and let's get our clip envelope here. And again, anything that I click on up here is going to be part of our little clip envelope. So I'm just going to go over here, and I'm going to make it so number 2 is, let's see how this works. I've never done it with this before. This is, the ability to do this is fairly new in Ableton Live, actually.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Let's try it like this. Oh, hold on, let's also put the feedback back down.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
What is that doing? Is that doing anything?
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Doesn't seem like it's doing anything, right?
8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Let's move this over here and see what happens.
1, 2, 3.
Oh, there we
4,
go.
5, 6, 7, 8.
Oh, it was like glitching. Huh. Interesting.
2, 3.
You can see now the knob is moving. It wasn't moving just a second ago. I'm not sure why exactly, but whatever. So let's go ahead and let's put some things in here, and put some things in here. And if this isn't getting you excited about sound, you've got a really loud noise coming through. I don't know what to say to you about that. Like white noise. Yeah, I mean, without seeing your setup, there's not a whole lot that I can do to help you there, Mark. You're gonna have to figure that one out. Unfortunately, that's like I would have to see what you're doing.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1.
Yeah,
2,
that's cool.
3, 4,
So you can
5,
see.
6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1.
Right? So you can hear like little trippy things. Oh, fan noise on my side? Yes. Hold on, let me turn that off. Good point. And I was hoping somebody would say that. Nobody ever says anything to me about this stuff. Hold on one second. But I'm glad you did, because I don't know what it sounds like. Hold on one second. Is that better? Yeah, I had the fan cranked. You're about to see me turn into like a puddle of sweat, but whatever. The things I do for y'all. All right, so.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1.
Yeah. So now it's starting to sound pretty cool. So let's go ahead and crank up this feedback a little bit, and you can hear this is going to loop every time this loops, which is pretty cool. I'm going to go ahead and mess with the feedback, and you can see I'm just clicking on this here. Click, click, click. And it will, oh, see the bug's already coming after me. There we go. Yeah, cool. It'll do it over. Nice. Look at all this movement we got going on here. Let's do this one as well. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about right there.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2,
Let's do
3,
this.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
Cool.
8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1.
Now it still seems like it's glitching a little bit because it should be. I don't know what it's actually following, because it's not going all the way up, but it's also not following this starting point very well.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3,
Yeah,
4,
it's pretty cool.
5, 6, 7.
Ha ha ha. Thanks, Johan. I appreciate it. But I want y'all to like be able to hear me properly as well, you know. So, and whatever. I mean, we'll be done in a couple hours. It's not that big a deal. I can handle it. But I appreciate the love. All right. So I'm not 100% sure how this is working right now, because like I said, this is kind of a newish feature in Live in the arrangement view. It didn't used to have this stuff set up like this. So I'm not really sure how it's working here. It doesn't seem like it's a percentage. Oh, what's up, Mark? Oh, you're Australian. Okay, cool. So we've got here, it's like a percentage here, but it's not actually doing a percentage. So, and it works differently in the session view from the arrangement view. If I take this counting and I put it over here into my session view, we can have this, there's like a way, this here becomes, see here, I've got a button here that wasn't in the other screen, automation versus modulation. And the automation will allow it, is that in the other screen as well? Hold on a second, let's see. No, it's not in this, yeah. So it's only in this view here. So what happens is this, let's take this, and can I paste it in here? Oh, I can, cool. So now it becomes automation, which is actually more like what I was kind of going for the other window. It's not modulation, it's automation. This is like I said, this is a fairly new change to Ableton Live. Here, let's do that for both of these so we can hear this actual, wait, was that one? Okay, this one here. Command A to copy it, paste this in, boom, boom. Now let's listen to it, and you'll hear a difference. Actually, what I'll do is I'll go back to my modulation and delete, and same thing with this one here, delete, boom. Hey, I said delete, there we go.
1, 2, 3, 4.
And let's play this.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Well, now of course it's like being all crazy. Let's pull this down. Pull this down. Yeah. Pull you down. Make it so it's not super all over the place. And over here, this one here. Wait, not you. You. There we go. Turn that one down, get you down. Yeah. Since now I messed with it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3,
Yeah,
4,
cool.
5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1.
Yeah, and you can hear these differences. Super, super cool stuff. Now, one thing I want you to pay attention to here, there's one more thing to point out before we stop listening to me counting. And if I click on this, and you can see here's my line, and if I move it around, you can notice there's a dotted line. And my original automation lane has grayed out. And this is a really important point to keep in mind, is that my automation lane is this solid gray point here where I've got dots and stuff in it. And what we need to do is, if you see that, what that means is that I moved my parameter and it took over everything. And that's an Ableton Live thing. If you're talking about like Pro Tools or Logic, remember automation is king. And you're going to see this in the notes in just a second when I go back and review all this stuff. But automation is king. With Ableton Live, the user is king. So I can grab this and move it around, and now it's making adjustments here. And if I hit play, it's not following the automation. If I want it to go back and follow the automation, what I got to do is I got to click this little orange button right here. See this little orange button? This button popped up when I actually changed my automation. So I got to go back and I got to click that little orange button to bring it back to automation. If I turn on my, oops, not that. If I turn on my info view, you mouse over and it says the name of this button is the Re-Enable Automation button. So basically, if you make a change to your automation, that little thing is going to light up and it's going to say, basically that's saying, hey, something changed. A few people have talked to me in the class about a glitch that happened in Live 9, because a few people are using Live 9, and or one person was talking about a glitch where that would always come up, and I know that glitch, and that glitch happened to me a lot, and it was really annoying, and unfortunately, the only thing you can do is just live with it. Sorry, you just have to click that button and then upgrade to Live 10, because I haven't seen that same glitch in Live 10.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
Cool.
8. 1.
So on my automation, and if I want to change this, I want to try something else out.
8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
I'll just grab these.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3,
Cool.
4, 5.
And now they're just there. And if I wanted to change it to being whatever my level is, I can just grab my line and just delete these dots and just put it right there. Boop. And make my new automation for both of the parameters. And go over here to this one and this one. And now it's just at the dot, and I could just do some different automation here. And don't forget your option. Click, 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 like that.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
We don't want that to be quite as loud, actually. Let's pull the whole thing down. Down, I say, down, too far. There we go. And this one here. And this is a good way to kind of be able to listen to your automation, to be able to tell, like, you know, your parameters and judge how far is too far.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1.
Oh, actually, OBS does have a de-esser. Sorry. Also, I can just turn myself down. It's probably too loud compared to the audio, the music. But you bring up a good point. And the problem that I run into is that I don't have any way to really test this stuff to hear what it sounds like. So I can't tell like what things sound like. Let's see, is there a de-esser? Hold on one second, y'all. No, there's no de-esser. Although I do have, let's see. Oh goodness, yeah, I can't do it like that. No, sorry. 14 decibels too loud. What, my voice? Turn it down. Now can you still hear me? Is that okay? Hey, 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 check. Hello, hello, hello. And actually, if other people could chime in too, that would be awesome. I think y'all have just been putting up with this like crazy levels of sound, which is interesting. But yeah, all right. Well, here, we'll just put it right here for now. And maybe my vocal will be
1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, so let's put this back in.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Oh. Jelani wants bad audio. Oh, Jelani. All right, we're going to move on. So anyway, all right. Jelani doesn't actually want to be a sound engineer. He just wants to watch me on Twitch in comfort. So we've got this stuff here, and this automation is here. All right, so let's go back and look at the notes. Cool. All right, so clip envelopes. These are automation data that loop with your clip. To access the clip envelopes, click the little barbell button thing. And hold on, let me make that stop. Stop, there we go. All right, to choose the parameter you want to automate, click it in the plugin. So we talked about that there. Link versus unlinked. You can unlink the envelope's loop length to make automation loop length different from the audio loop length. In the envelope window, click the linked button and then adjust the loop length. Each parameter can have its own loop length. All right, so that's this right here. Y'all are funny. So we're gonna go in here and do this. And so let me show you this. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put like a little gate thing on here with the volume. We're gonna put that back there. And I'm gonna take this 1/16 note here. And got this. I'm going to put this back here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this one little part here, and I'm going to loop this one little part. And I hope y'all are paying attention, because this is a really, really cool thing here. Hit go. Here, let's
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2,
turn this
3,
off.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1.
And let's go ahead and speed that up a little bit. Boom.
1, 2, 3.
So here how it's got this like auto, this like gate on it now.
2, 3, 4.
And the gate is going throughout the whole clip, but it's looping just this one part right here. Oh, to see the... I do have another camera, but it's over my push. I've got this camera here. Here, let's do this. I mean, you're not wrong here. Hold on a second. It's just going to be way over here on the other side. Let's see if we can do this. Here, can we do that? I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't think that's going to work very well. I don't have... Sorry. Y'all are going to have to live with that. I apologize. I don't have another camera over my my keyboard here. But what I can do for you, if you want to pay attention to it, is I can turn on this thing here. Here, check this out. I have this app called Keyboard something? Keycaster. And the Keycaster will put my keyboard's shortcuts. Oh, we don't need that anymore. We'll put my keyboard shortcuts in the corner. Oh, not behind my head though. Let's put it over here in this corner. There you go. So now you can see, hopefully, yeah, you can see what I'm doing. And that'll help a little bit. Except it doesn't do everything. It's not perfect, but it's better than nothing. Hold on, let's see. Keycaster preferences. Display. Update, no. Yeah, that's annoying. All right, yeah, I mean, we'll see. It's better than nothing. But I agree, having a keyboard would be great. I just don't have unlimited space to put cameras around. Sorry. All right, so, but the point is, and if you want to ask me questions about it in Zoom, we can talk about that in Zoom. All right, so let's go back over here to my volume here, and here's my volume envelope. And what I'll do is, we can definitely go over some of the stuff in Zoom if you have specific questions about things, and we can go over it when we're talking. It'll be a little bit easier to talk about that stuff, because I do want you to know. Also, just so y'all know, here, I want to show you something that I thought we did talk about this with Pro Tools, but here, Ableton Live keyboard, short keyboard cover. So you can get one of these also. And it's essentially a keyboard cover that shows you all the shortcuts for like Ableton Live. You can get them for Pro Tools, stuff like that. And there's a whole bunch of them. You can get them on Newegg. B&H has them. Different prices for things. You can see some of them are quite expensive. Other ones are really cheap. So that's something I would definitely check out. All right. All right. Cool. Where can I put you? You're not in the way. All right. So each parameter can have its own loop length. So in your envelope window, all your parameters can have their own loop lengths. It's a pretty cool little feature that I definitely recommend you check out, but it's more of a power user thing. So here's what it would look like. Your envelope button is here. The auto filter frequency is, that's the one I've selected, and then you can unlink them and set the loop length to different stuff. Any parameters you've automated will have a dot. It's actually a blue dot now. The automated ones are a red dot, and the ones that are modulation are a blue dot. So there's different stuff. Oh, you do have one on order. Oh, cool. Nice. That's dope. Yeah, good. I'm talking to, okay, that's Brad. Yeah, cool. All right. Power user. Are you asking me what that means? Power user? Power user is like anybody who's like kind of using that program a lot. They're like an expert at it. So like I'm an expert at Ableton Live. I'm like a power user. Ableton Live power user means that I use it all the time and I know my way around it really, really well. And so to become a power user, like having a keyboard thing like that really helps a lot. All right, arrangement view automation. Clip envelopes stay within the clip whether you are in the session view or the arrangement view. Volume and transposition. Other envelopes, if you have automation envelopes, for example, in here, yeah, greatest of all time, right? Is that what that GOAT means? People in my last class were saying GOAT all the time, and I didn't know what it meant. But all right, so over here we got this primal tap, and in here I got these like these feedback loops here. So boom, 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 boom. When I move it over, what happens is these become automation points. So now see how it changed into an automation point here. There you go. Changed into an automation point. So it doesn't follow the loop anymore. It's just gonna, you have to like highlight it and copy and paste it over. So if I want it to be a loop, I would highlight this and hit Command D to make it loop like that. Cool, all right. Okay, so in this view here, if I wanted to see multiple lanes of automation, I can click on the plus button over here on the right-hand side. There it is right there. Click on that, and now it's going to show me different lanes of automation. So I click on it, it's going to show me that lane right there, and I can pull up a different lane of automation. Here, feedback A, feedback B, boom, boom, boom. There's my two feedbacks. And so I'd go over here and hit the plus button. Now I can see both of them. And if I don't want to see them, I can hit this little triangle thing right here. So don't have to see it. So much cleaner and simpler than Pro Tools with automation. Maybe. I mean, the layout in Ableton Live is definitely cleaner than Pro Tools. They both have the automation lanes. If you prefer looking at this one, I can't blame you because I love Ableton Live. So yeah. This is the part here. Unlike in Pro Tools, automation is not king in Ableton Live. Automation can be overridden. Just adjust the parameter that you want to override. The current automation will turn gray, and Live will follow the parameter's new position. To re-enable the written automation, click the Re-enable Automation button. So Jelani says, hey Zay, still wondering where they use Ableton over Pro Tools, let me know. So I'll tell you where they use Ableton over Pro Tools. They use Ableton over Pro Tools on stage. For example, Kanye West, all these like big hip hop artists, they're using Ableton Live now to run their live rigs. Because you can't do this type of stuff that we're talking about with Pro Tools. So a lot of these big artists will use Ableton Live to run their live stage like show. And so a lot of that stuff is being run from Ableton Live because you can just do so much with it. And a lot of bands use it on stage as well. You'll see a lot of times drummers will have like a pad in the back next to them, and they're usually triggering loops and stuff like that. And I've actually had students from SAE who have gotten a job over other candidates because they knew Ableton Live as well as Pro Tools. So people, like, you have to know Pro Tools, but having Ableton Live experience or Logic, other ones do make you more, what's the word? Like, you look better to your employees, future employers. So it is an important thing to know. But that's a situation where they do use Ableton Live over Pro Tools. Pro Tools is used for recording live shows. So if you want to work in live stuff, live sound and whatnot, then using Pro Tools is really important. for recording stuff. And I've said this before, I'm going to say it again, but if I was just recording stuff all the time and recording bands and things like that, then I would only use Pro Tools. But when you're producing, and it's what Mark is saying right now, I think Ableton can't be beat in terms of making electronic music. And I agree with that assessment. And I think a lot of people have been making the switch over to Ableton Live. Not I think, I know. And if you read interviews with like your favorite producers, a lot of them have said, yeah, I used to use FL Studio, or I used to use Logic, or I used to use Pro Tools. And then I started using Ableton Live and I just made the switch, because a lot of people do. So so they don't even record with Ableton. Well, it depends. You're making a lot of jumps here right now, Jelani, that you shouldn't be making. So it depends on what genre you're in. If you're in a genre where there's a lot of recording, and you're doing a lot of like recording stuff that like rock music, or if you're like running a studio, then Pro Tools or Logic. But a lot of producers who are doing electronic music, house music, especially house music, which is a big industry right now. And then, even hip hop, there's a lot of stuff, people who do almost everything in Ableton Live. And most of my friends, oh, you did? Okay, cool. So most of my friends actually do everything in Ableton Live from start to finish. The reason why I don't encourage you as my students to do everything in Live from start to finish, and the reason why I'm forcing you to put stuff into Pro Tools, is because you have to know Pro Tools if you're working with somebody else or you're working in a studio. And that's really what I'm trying to get you ready for. This isn't SAE beatmaking school. This is SAE audio engineering. And so my job is to make you a better audio engineer. We're just happen to be doing Ableton Live stuff right now, so we're focusing on production, but I want you to bring it back into Pro Tools eventually, so you know how to use Pro Tools. But personally, I don't bring anything back into Pro Tools. I keep everything in Ableton Live. He said Ableton is the best thing ever to happen to a computer. That's funny. Yeah, I have to side with Isaiah on this one. Sorry, Jelani. Yeah, I also think that Ableton Live is like the best thing to ever happen to a computer. And I really wish Ableton Live had happened sooner in my life, but whatever. That's just, I regret being old. Okay, so over here is talking about that little back to automation button in here. The written automation is shown with a red line. This is the written automation here, and then down here, the gray automation is, the written automation is grayed out when you move the parameter, and then you have this turned on here. This little red button turns on. Oh, goodness. Everybody's chiming in. Sorry, Johnny, I missed you earlier when you said you were here. Sorry about that. All right. So, I mean, in terms of things that are the best things to ever happen to computers, I guess probably power is pretty important. A monitor is pretty important. And then right beneath that is low-key Microsoft Word. Okay. Microsoft Word, I don't know. I use Ableton Live more than I use Microsoft. Just kidding. Ha 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 ha. So I walked, yeah, that's true, Johan. I walked so you can run. I did. You are getting the power injection of knowledge compared to how I had to learn this stuff. I mean, it was so long ago now, but it was just like, years and years and years. And then I couldn't even use Ableton Live. It didn't even come out until I'd been doing this for 10 years. All right. So if you want to perform your automation change in here, this just goes over how to do that. Preferences, record warp launch, record session automation in, all tracks, arm tracks. All tracks is more universal. Arm tracks is safer. It only really affects the session view. To record automation in Ableton Live, you must turn on the automation arm button and the arrangement record button. Like I said before, I prefer to do all tracks and not arm tracks. If you're in the arrangement view, make sure you do not have any tracks record armed. Otherwise, it's going to get written over. And then this is the last page here. Remember, to choose the parameter you want to automate, click it in the plugin. Don't turn on the automation arm button unless you want to record automation. Automation can be overridden just by slightly adjusting a parameter. Clip envelopes can be unlinked from the length of the audio waveform, and hold option to record an automation line. This last page is kind of a breakdown of all the pages everything we've talked about up to this point. Just some key points to remember here. This is super, super important. And let's just take one more look at how to record automation stuff in. So if I wanted to, let's say I've got everything here, and I want to record some automation on the filter on my vocal. I'm going to take off this, let's keep the primal tap on there.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And I'm going to turn off this little weird loop thing that I've got going on.
1, 2, 3.
All right, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a filter on here at the end after everything. Elijah, what is up? All right, so I'm going to put this filter on here, and now let's show you I can show you this part here. Boom. So here's my my push, and the push, I've got a filter right here, and you can see when I turn it, it adjusts. And I can see it adjusting here, and I can move things around. So if I wanted to record this in, all I have to do is just make sure I'm record arm. I've got my my automation record up here. Hold on one second, let me just put that back so you can see. Hit this automation right here, record, and then hit the record button here. And it's going to record it into the track. Okay. So I'm going to hit go, and you're going to see a red line appear right here. Actually, let me do it like this. There we go. This is a little bit easier, I think, to see. Cool. All right, hit go.
2, 2, 4, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
And now I hit play, and I can listen to it. Cool. I hit Command Z because it had started looping recording, and when you loop record before you hit stop, just back it up a little bit with Command Z.
2, 4, 7, 8. 1.
And all the stuff I just changed, you can see it happening down here on the bottom. All the stuff I just did is right there. So, super cool stuff. And that's automation in a nutshell. Obviously, to get really amazing at it, you're gonna have to work with it a lot. And let me just play for you a track that uses great automation. This is here, I'm going to leave it up here. A duo, Walker and Royce from America. They're actually from Brooklyn. They're playing like big festivals all over the world. And I just want to play, I'm going to play this track here, Word. Some of you may have heard it already. I'm not sure if any Walker and Royce fans in here, but this song is ridiculous. And if you listen to the production in here, especially if you have headphones on right now, it's going to be super cool. There's a lot of really cool things he does, a lot of automation, a lot of resampling stuff, which we're going to talk about next week. So let me just hit play on this.
you say the